Your business is being built by the personality you developed as a child. Here's what I mean. We all began life inside of a family system, and very quickly we learned who we needed to be in order to gain love and acceptance and to belong. Maybe you had to become the good girl and the peacekeeper. Maybe you had to be the high achiever or the resilient one with broad shoulders. Maybe you just had to stay small and compliant. Or maybe you were the strong one. Everyone's story is going to be different. But without realizing it, your nervous system and your shadow system learned that love and acceptance were conditional. And so over time, those survival strategies became something much bigger. What happened is you built a psychological mask, what Carl Jung referred to as the persona. And we mistake this for our personality. We believe this is who we are. But every quality that you were allowed to express as a child came with another quality that had to be hidden in what we call the shadow. If you had to become compliant, then somewhere within you is your rebelliousness. If you were someone who was just totally responsible and like an old soul, somewhere within you is your playfulness. If you were the one that had to be endlessly resilient, somewhere within your shadow is your vulnerability. If you were the one that just had to be serious all the time because there was no room for you to play and just be a kid, somewhere within your shadow are your creative gifts. You see, none of these qualities just disappear. They become your shadow, what Carl Jung referred to as your second personality that lives in the subconscious. Now, the trouble is we don't leave this mask behind in childhood. We carry it with us into our 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s. We carry it with us into our career, into our business, and into our relationships. And after years of performing who we thought we had to be, life starts to feel really heavy. That's when we suffer with burnout. That's when things like resentment and low-level anger appear, when we just constantly kind of feel exhausted and we don't really know why. And it's at this point most people think that they're having a midlife crisis and they wonder, well, what the hell is wrong with me? Why can't I just get myself together? I have everything that I've ever wanted on paper. But what's really happening is that the personality you built for survival can no longer carry the life that you're trying to create. Your psyche is asking for something deeper. Now, bringing this back to business, this becomes really obvious when you're trying to build a business because your business is going to ask you to be seen. It's going to ask you to have opinions, to create, to take risks, and to be visible. But if you're trying to build a business from a mask that was designed to keep you safe and to keep you accepted, everything starts to feel forced. Visibility starts to feel terrifying. It feels really inauthentic when you create content and try and market. Even your income will start to plateau because your real voice never quite reaches people because you're speaking and performing and operating from the mask. And this is where people think, well, I just need to get a new mask. I just need to shine up my existing mask. But that's not what we want to do. The real work is around recovering the parts of you that were hidden. All of that creativity and those gifts, the confidence that maybe you had to suppress because you played small all your life, the boldness, the magnetism, the playfulness, all of those unique gifts that maybe weren't allowed, your rebelliousness and your healthy selfishness, all of that is within the shadow and we need to recover it. The truth is, shadow work and recovering the shadow is about becoming whole. It's about having reverence for the survival strategies and the masks and the personality traits that you've been living with, whilst also recovering these repressed parts, because when you bring and integrate those things together, we become our true self. And as you begin recovering those lost parts, everything starts to change. Everything starts to feel easier. Visibility starts to feel easier. Your relationships become more honest, more peaceful sometimes. Decisions become clearer. You start to feel more embodied as you stop performing. Your business suddenly starts to feel more aligned, and you feel clearer on your purpose. And this is why shadow work, sincere shadow work, is about becoming finally the person that you were always meant to be.